What do we mean by the term basic unit? It simply means small units combining in several numbers to form a complete larger unit. So tell me, is this wall made up of basic units? Yes, although it seems to be one wall, it's actually made with several bricks coming together. So can we say that the bricks are the basic units of the wall? Of course, yes. And what will the bricks be made up of? They're generally made up of clay and shale. But if we continue dividing it further, we will reach a stage where no further division is possible. And what is this stage called? Yes, we reach the atomic stage. This is what we've been learning about from our previous videos. Now let us understand this concept of atoms in some more detail. How do we define atoms in simple words? We define an atom as the smallest indivisible unit of any matter. So are we saying that atoms cannot be divided further? Maybe yes. Or there may be even subatomic particles existing in it. But how do we get to know about these? Thanks to the pioneers in chemistry, there were several experiments performed which gave us excellent results to study the atoms in detail. But before that, let us get to know how the pioneers of the old era looked at the atoms and studied them. We know that by the end of the 18th century, scientists were aware of the differences between elements and compounds. Also, the atomic theory put forth by Dalton helps throw some light on the concept of atoms. However, not many elements were known by that time. So for convenience of use, scientists preferred allocating symbols to the known elements. Thus, atoms of individual elements were given symbols as we can see here. Hydrogen was represented using a dot inside a circle. Silver with an S inside a circle, and so on. But with time, the discovery of new elements led to many problems in the use of symbols, especially while using them in representations of complex reactions. Then what could be done? Many scientists gave various suggestions, and one among them was the Swedish chemist Berzelius. He suggested that instead of symbols, maybe we can use just 2 letters from the name of the elements to represent them. This solution helped a lot in many ways. However, soon it was realized that the names of the elements were given based on either their appearance, properties, or from the place where they were first discovered. With this, the naming convention changed from one place to another. Later, with the establishment of the IUPAC, many such nomenclature problems were eventually solved. Wait a second, what do we mean by IUPAC? It stands for International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry. It is a committee that is concerned with setting up various rules and conducts in chemistry. Right from naming the elements to setting up various standards, several functions are carried out by the IUPAC. So it was after many decades that IUPAC set up rules for naming the elements symbolically. Continuing with the idea of Berzelius, the committee suggested that atoms should be symbolically represented with their first letter written in uppercase, such as H for hydrogen. However, what do we do if we have other elements whose names begin with the same letter? We don't have to worry. We pick up other letters succeeding the first letter, but strictly written in lowercase. Here are a few examples. We use He for helium, Al for aluminium, Co for cobalt, and so on. Some elements can also have symbols where the second letter is not immediately the next one. Like in case of chlorine, we write it as Cl. Lastly, a few elements were given names in Greek and Latin. So the symbols of these elements were also based on these names. Can you guess a few examples for these? We have always come across sodium written as Na. Do you know why? Yes, because Latin name for sodium is natrium. Similarly, we have K for kalium, that is potassium, and Fe for iron from its Latin name ferrum. Thus, each element has a unique name and a symbol for its representation. This was a brief idea about the history of how atoms were represented and how they are represented now. Now let us move ahead and talk about the structure of atoms and have a look at some marvelous experiments performed by various scientists in the past. But for that, you will have to watch our upcoming videos.